Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to our next episode of Smackdown Live. I can't even talk. And get ready for a good one here tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a short one though, I think. But we are in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I can't talk at all, can I? So it looks like we are going to start things off this evening with our general manager, Shane O'Mac. Of course, Shane O'Mac took full control of proceedings once Daniel Bryan returned to the ring in our Royal Rumble back in January. So Shane O'Mac now full control of Smackdown Live, and I wonder what he's got to tell us. I should imagine it's something to do with, of course, the upcoming WrestleMania pay-per-view. We're now on the final sort of descent towards that now, and yeah, the road to WrestleMania is fully in control. In control? I don't know. I'm still padding while his entrance goes on. I don't know. Here we go. So, we're not far away now from our big finale episode, WrestleMania. And it's a great opportunity for Raw and SmackDown to compete. Not in a way of against each other, but trying to put on the best matches as possible and trying to outdo their opponents. That's very much what's here at Smackdown Live we are looking to do. We now know, of course, that it will be AJ Styles versus Austin Aries in the WrestleMania main event. So we've already got one over on Raw by main event in the entire show. But I want to do more than that. I want to do more. And I do want to put forward a Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way match where Dolph Ziggler, our new champion, will defend against the former champion Apollo Crews, Dean Ambrose and Hideo Itami at WrestleMania. I think that'll be a really good match. I'm looking forward to that one. And we're also going to have a Fatal 4-Way Women's Championship match as well, where Trish Stratus will defend her belt against three other ladies who will be decided over the next 3 weeks in knockout style qualifiers. And I'm sure there is going to be a lot more. We have a massive prospective match on the cards at the moment. We're just waiting for confirmation, but as soon as that match goes through, we will announce it, and that is going to be huge. That is going to blow Monday Night Raw out of the water. So you guys have seen enough of me. Let's get straight into tonight's action. And here is our opening match of the evening. It is going to be Samoa Joe, who lost to AJ Styles at Fastlane in that World Heavyweight Championship match. He's going to be facing off against James Ellsworth. So let's see how Joe gets on. I should imagine it could be a little bit one-sided this one, but we'll wait and see. And here we go, and of course, here is Samoa Joe. He will be disappointed because not only did he lose the match against AJ Styles at Fastlane and not get himself not obviously win himself the championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, that match was essentially also to headline WrestleMania because, of course, Austin Aries winning the Royal Rumble. So we now know that it will be Austin Aries facing off against AJ Styles in our WrestleMania main event. A pretty damn good match, that one. And we also know, of course, from Fastlane that it will be Bray Wyatt versus Luke Harper one-on-one with everyone else banned from ringside. So Luke Harper's going to get a chance to really get his hands on Bray Wyatt and try and get himself a little bit of retribution for the attack suffered at the Royal Rumble, of course. So that should be interesting. So that's 2 matches confirmed so far. And of course we heard from Shane McMahon in our opening sequence here this evening, and he announced that Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania as well. Dolph Ziggler defending his Intercontinental Championship against the former champion Apollo Crews. And of course Hideo Itami and Dean Ambrose, 2 guys that have been in pretty damn good form of recent as well. Ambrose dominated Hideo Itami through their entire feud throughout our second month of the Universe mode. However, it was Hideo who managed to pick up the big win at Fastlane, so that was pretty good. Also, we are going to see a match from that here this evening. Our main event is going to be Apollo Crews versus Dean Ambrose. So we get a chance to really test the water in that match. Now, the interesting one with... what was I going to say? I've lost what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is going to be a short episode, this one, because for some reason the game is bugged out and it's only allowing us to book 3 matches on this card. I don't know why. We've got about 7 promos booked on this card, but I won't be showing them to you, obviously. I'll just be cutting them out and using our own promos. But yeah, when the card came around, it had 7 promos and 3 matches, which is just an absolute cluster. So we are going to have our 3 matches, of course, but it's going to make the show a little bit shorter, which is a bit tricky for me to try and really build up to WrestleMania. We haven't got a lot of time left now. Of course, only 4 weeks, so we do have a chunk of time. We don't really have a chunk of time really left to prepare everything, but hopefully we can at least have 1, maybe even 2 more matches for WrestleMania confirmed here this evening. I think we'll definitely get 1 confirmed match, and it could end up being a pretty big one as well. We'll wait and see what happens. I'm not giving anything away yet. Talking of WrestleMania, of course, because Samoa Joe did lose at Fastlane, obviously lost his opportunity to headline WrestleMania. However, it now means that he doesn't yet have a place on the WrestleMania card, so maybe we'll have to try and find something for him as well. Because I would like to obviously have all of the best people on the roster at the time on that show, of course, because it is going to be our massive finale, and I really want to make sure it's as good as it can possibly be. And I have already said over the last few days that this is probably going to be 5 episodes long, 5 videos long, because I have penciled in 21 matches, which I think for me is a little bit crazy. But it has been done, and we will build on that, I suppose. Also, if you have seen Raw, I just want to get some more feedback from you on our potential next universe mode. I had a little bit of an idea today about potentially, if we did do another universe mode and picked our own company instead, I could potentially use a friend of mine, Perry, who is looking to come up and stay with me for a couple of days anyway over the Christmas period. So I was thinking what we could do is do 2 separate brands and have a draft against each other, so we could have 2 separate shows on the go, and I think that'd be a pretty cool idea as well. So yeah, again, just let me know what you guys want to see. Do you want to see me continue on with NXT and 205 Live? Would you like me to go a little bit outside the box and just create our own company and really just utilize whatever fantasy roster we so wish, and then we can decide then basically exactly what we want to do. So yeah, please let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see going forward, because obviously I want to make sure that the content I'm creating is actually appealing to you guys. I don't want to keep creating all these videos if nobody wants to watch them, of course. So I want to make sure whatever I am doing is in your interest. I'm completely lost now. I've got so many pieces of paper everywhere. I've done an individual piece of paper for every single match at WrestleMania, so I can keep track of the build-up to make sure I know that every match has actually been sorted out. And what was that? Is that double count out? I think that's a double count out. Samoa Joe has just destroyed James Ellsworth on the outside, and it's ended up being a draw, double count out. Samoa Joe really showing his aggression here this evening. Of course, very unhappy with what happened at Fastlane, and you can see he's taken out on James Ellsworth here this evening. And it looks like Joe's actually calling for a microphone. This should be interesting. Let's see what Joe's got to say. As you all probably saw at Fastlane, I lost my opportunity when I took on AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship to main event our finale episode WrestleMania. Now, I still want to be on that card. Who doesn't? It's going to be the big finale episode, so I'm challenging anybody out there right now. And I don't want to challenge anybody. I don't want to challenge like this chump I've just destroyed here, James Ellsworth. I want a proper challenge. I want somebody who a match against me is going to go down in history. I want somebody who, at the end of the show, they're all going to be talking about Joe versus whoever, not about AJ Styles versus Austin Aries. For God's sake, I'm the guy with one of the most dominant undefeated streaks in wrestling history in my first year in TNA, and I think I deserve to be one of the biggest assets on the WrestleMania card. So, if anyone's out there with big enough cojones, I'm here waiting for you, and I'm not going to say no. And here's our second match of the evening, and just like Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live is going to have a fatal 4-way women's match for the Smackdown Live Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Of course, we have a brand new champion now in the shape of Trish Stratus, and we're going to have qualifiers over the next 3 weeks to ensure that we get the best ladies from this roster to challenge at WrestleMania for the championship. Tonight, of course, is going to be Becky Lynch, the former champion, taking on Carmella. Okay, so it's gone wrong here. Becky Lynch seems to have stolen the championship. What the hell? We're going to have to ignore that because I can't change that, unfortunately, because as soon as a show starts, you can't change the champions. So just ignore completely what you're seeing at the moment. Becky Lynch is not the women's championship, the women's champion. It is Trish. Trish Stratus is the women's champion. I don't know how. I think it might be my fault thinking about it. I think because the show was so big at Fastlane, I think Becky's match took place in an exhibition rather than the actual universe mode.
Oh, you is.
Yeah, I'll fix that. I'll fix it. Don't worry. I'll fix it. Thankfully, we can rely on Carmella not to have a championship around her waist, but you never know. It's possibly something that could happen in this universe mode. I'm Carmella, the Queen of Staten Island. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Carmella does get a big chance. You know what? I liked Carmella as a face. I thought she was decent, but in my opinion, I feel that when she's moved to being a heel, she's really stepped up. Really stepped up the her performance, and it has worked really well for her. It's made her very relevant now on Smackdown Live, and I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. Really, I'm liking that. I still would like it on. On WWE games if we could have. If we could have mixed stables of men and women, because again, we can't align Carmella with Enzo and Cass because she's a female, and you can't have mixed female and male stables. It's really annoying because it makes no sense, because there's so many female and male stables together. Just because they're in the same stable doesn't mean they're going to wrestle anyone else. It's divide and conquer. You think of some of the big stables. You think of DX, who had Stephanie McMahon. You think of mine's gone blank now. There's loads of stables that have female people in there. Bullet Club had Amber O'Neil, or Amber Gallows, whatever you want to call her. There are a lot. I just can't think of them. DX had Tori as well, didn't they? Right to Centre had Ivory. APA had Jacqueline for a while. Enzo and Cass, of course, had Carmella in NXT. Would have liked to have gone alongside some sort of Balor Club situation, maybe with Becky Lynch being part of that as well. There's a lot of different stables out there that have had female members, and it makes no sense to me why we can't use female members on the game. And it would also be pretty cool if we could have more people in a stable. I would love to have a stable that had like 15 people in there, for example. If we were going to do like a retro WCW universe and we could create all of the NWO, I think that'd be really cool. And I hope you guys think that the same way. But again, it wouldn't make much difference, because still you can only fit a certain amount of people in the ring at once. You can only fit a certain amount of people in tag teams and six-man tags and that sort of stuff. And it would just make sense to me to have that extra space in the stables. I've said this before. I'd also like stables to have slots as well, like or roles. So, like for example, with the Wyatt family, I could assign, which you can do anyway. You can assign your tag team, but I'd like to assign others. I'd like to maybe sign somebody as a main event talent, for example, or someone as a... Oh, not this again. This gets on my tits, this does. Or someone as an enforcer. 2K, please fix your fucking game. Thank you, Becky Lynch, for stopping that awfulness. Yeah, I'd like to have that. Or, for example, if you created the Ministry, if you could put Paul Bearer in there as a slot as a manager, so he would manage anybody within the stable. And I think that would really work well as well. Or yeah, you could assign somebody as a main event talent. You could assign enforcers who will accompany them to the ring for big matches, or people that would help out as well in rivalries. That's something that doesn't happen very often as well. If you're in a rivalry, a one-on-one rivalry, and you're part of the stable, I would like that stable to interfere in the rivalry and help on your behalf, but that doesn't seem to happen in the game at the moment. And we do have to do a lot of it ourselves. But I know it's all wishful thinking. I don't know if 2K really have done anything recently regarding patches or anything like that. So I really think they need to, because of course if you see my episode of Monday Night Raw, you'll see me getting pretty aggressive and really annoyed after 3 hours of continuously trying to record a tag team match that just would not work for the life of me. Leg drop there by Becky. She's going to go for the second leg drop, the spinning one. And now, oh, Becky, you're in a terrible position. You're going to drop her straight into a rope break, aren't you? Not quite. It's close, though. It's very close. Can Becky get her place at WrestleMania? Is Carmella going to tap? And Carmella does tap. And Becky Lynch takes her place in the Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania to try and get her championship back from Trish Stratus. If she actually gives it to Trish Stratus, which she will do after this show, don't worry. So our next 2 weeks worth of shows here on SmackDown, we are going to have Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James next week. And then week number 4, we're going to see Asuka taking on Nikki Bella for that 4th and final spot in that match at WrestleMania. And here is our main event this evening. It is going to be Apollo Crews taking on Dean Ambrose. Of course, as announced earlier on by Shane McMahon, both these guys will be taking place in a Fatal 4. We're getting a lot of Fatal 4 matches, aren't we? Both these guys will be taking place in a Fatal 4 match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. The championship that Apollo Crews lost. Oh my god. Why is nothing going well for me tonight? Again, just ignore that. He's not the Intercontinental Champion. Dolph Ziggler won it. I can't change it though. I've noticed this yesterday. As soon as you start a show, you can then no longer adjust anything in the universe mode. So we have to get through this show before we can change things over. I can't believe I forgot to do this. I really can't. I do apologise. But at least we know. At least we know exactly what's going on. So Dolph Ziggler, yeah. Dolph Ziggler is our Intercontinental Champion. He won the belt back from Apollo Crews at Fastlane. Crews have been dominant so far in this universe mode. And now Ziggler managed to get over the top of him. And that has happened quite a few times, really. When you think that everything's stacked against them, they do manage to pull out the victory. But it's going to be very difficult for Dolph Ziggler to keep a hold of that Intercontinental Championship going into WrestleMania. Of course, Fatal 4-Way, including this man, the former champion. And of course, the man who's on his way to the ring right now, Dean Ambrose. And not only him, of course, we are going to have Hideo Itami as well. The man who defeated Dean Ambrose at Fastlane. You can see in Ambrose's eyes that he is not here to play games. He's very frustrated with himself. He dominated Hideo Itami the whole way up to Fastlane. And then just dropped the ball at the last moment, allowing Hideo Itami to pick up the victory. Dean Ambrose is looking like he's a man on a mission here. And Apollo Crews better watch himself. And of course, this match here is going to be a great way for somebody to build some momentum going forward into WrestleMania as well. Another victory over one of your one of your fellow competitors can really put you in a strong position. The bell goes and we are underway. Apollo Crews, Dean Ambrose. Crews straight away. Spinning neckbreaker, taking Ambrose down. Like I say, I think this will be it for this week now. There's these 2 episodes, but next week, over the Christmas period, we might see a lot more. Of this universe mode. Like I said, I want to try and get this one finished before I go back to work at the latest, which is the 3rd of January. We do have, after this, we do have 3 more weeks of each show left, and then of course the WrestleMania pay-per-view. So it's going to be, thinking about it, after this, there's still 11 videos left in this universe mode, which I'll have to upload 1 per day. It's going to be very difficult, isn't it? We're going to be close to getting it done by the end of the year, but I can't promise it now thinking about it, because it looks like it could be very difficult. It depends how much effort I put into the episodes, and I know these episodes are sort of dying a death a little bit really. Each video I put up is getting less views than the last, So I might just not necessarily put less effort into it, but some of the flashbacks to previous episodes that take me a long time to dig through the old footage and cut them out and things like that may not be as important, and it might be worth just getting us through to the next show a bit quicker maybe, and then we can get back onto something that I think you guys are going to enjoy. Like I said, either NXT and 205 Live, or move into doing a sort of fantasy universe involving our own sort of choices, really. But again, I just want your guys' sort of ideas on that below. Do you think that's a good idea? Would you like to see that? Yeah, so let me know on that one. Dean Ambrose now sending Apollo Crews into the ropes and into a spinebuster. Pretty dodgy spinebuster there by Dean Ambrose, but it's effective nonetheless. There's the pin. Only a 1 count. Apollo Crews kicking out. Apollo Crews obviously going to have the strength and agility advantage in this one, but Dean Ambrose has the advantage of just being an absolute nutter. And the best thing about being a nutter is that nobody really knows where you're really coming from, do they? You could really pull something out of the box. It's very difficult to plan for a nutter because you don't know what they're going to do. Apollo Crews went to the kick to the back of Ambrose. Ambrose dodged out the way. Now a Saito suplex on Apollo Crews, folding him half. Ambrose now going up top, going for a high-risk maneuver. This is dangerous for Ambrose. And Crews is going back up to his feet, and Ambrose is going to wait right there, perched, ready to attack. Went for the diving elbow and completely missed it. Crews now sending Ambrose into the corner. Ambrose turns things around. Tornado DDT. But Crews is straight back up, no selling it, but then he gets caught in the face by Ambrose, who now looks to take Crews up into, I think he was planning for a fisherman suplex out of nowhere. It's the bicycle. Dropping a knee right into the face of Dean Ambrose. And Ambrose now being caught by the bigger, stronger man, Apollo Crews. The thing is, you let Crews get in control of a match, it can be very, very difficult to get back in it. Like I said, very well conditioned man, big, strong athlete, very agile as well. He will have the physical advantage over most of the roster, but Ambrose again using his ring experience now. Jawbreaker into a Dirty Deeds. And Dean Ambrose out of nowhere could steal this one. 2 and 3, and he has. Wow, Dean Ambrose out of nowhere. That is effective. That is very, very effective, Dean Ambrose. Wow. Now this is the end of the matches here in this video, but don't switch off yet because we've still got one more thing to come for you, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's coming very, very soon, so I will be back very, very soon. I say very soon, I'm going to cut it together, so you're going to see me straight away, aren't you? But I believe we have a bit of a surprise for you. And here we go. We've been told we have a special surprise for you, and oh, here he is. It is one of the most dominant superstars in wrestling history. There he is. It's Goldberg. And I wonder what he's here tonight for. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? We understand he was in the area and felt inclined to come here to Smackdown Live to see us. And it'd be interesting to see exactly what Goldberg has to say here on this episode. Once again, I do apologise for the short episode. It's been a little bit annoying. I don't know what happened. The game's still pretty problematic and glitchy, and for some reason it only allowed us to use 3 matches on this card. So hopefully once I put these promos in, share 3 promos throughout the show, it will hopefully buffer it up a little bit and not make it too short of an episode. But then again, you guys might enjoy it being a bit short of an episode. But of course, as we're moving forward towards WrestleMania, we really need everything we can possibly get. We need all of the time we can possibly get to make sure that we build up to all the matches at WrestleMania correctly. And maybe that's why Goldberg's here. Maybe Goldberg is here due to WrestleMania. Maybe Goldberg's just split his mind for WrestleMania. We know from recent that he has been in-ring return in real life. However, of course, it was incredibly short and probably anticlimactic. It depends how you look at it. Some people loved the whole idea of Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg with a really short match, and some people thought it was a little bit of a waste having it like that. But there you go. We'll obviously wait and see what happens on that one. But yeah, let's see what the big man's got to say. Let's see what Goldberg has in his mind and what made him feel inclined to join us here on Smackdown Live here this evening. I'm sure whatever it is going to be important. I'm really padding this out now, aren't I? Come on, Goldberg. Grab the mic. Grab the mic, Goldberg. Where are you? Come on. Your eyes do not deceive you. Yes, it is Goldberg here on Smackdown Live. Now, I felt inclined to come along here. I was in the area, and I got a phone call from one of my good friends who still works backstage here for the WWE, and he said to me that there was a certain person making challenges for WrestleMania, but not only making challenges for WrestleMania, but also going on about how dominant their undefeated streak was in a previous company. Well, where does that sound familiar? Ah, yes, I remember now, yes. And that may be myself in WCW, yes. I had well over 100 victories before eventually I was defeated, not even clean defeated, and of course that was when a taser was used against me. Now, Samoa Joe, you're making challenges that I don't feel you're asking cash. And at WrestleMania, I'm going to prove that to you. You want a big match, you want a match that people are going to talk about for years and years to come. Joe, you've just found yourself one. Wow, so Goldberg has accepted the challenge of Samoa Joe for WrestleMania. That is a huge, huge match, that one. And I think Joe's going to get exactly what he wanted. So guys, that's the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit that like button. And of course, if you are new around here and you'd like to see some more, then please hit that subscribe button as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for another episode of our WWE 2K17 Universe Mode.